Game 2 between the Drexel Dragons and the RMU Colonials here on the Clearview Ice Arena, the much better rink for this type of hockey. It's the rematch from last night. I'm Cade McCrory alongside me, Andrew Keel. We might have had a game of the year night last night between these two hockey clubs. Took it to overtime, and Connor Moran finishing the deal after a bad turnover. And Drexel, the former ESCHL champions, go down. And they're going to be looking for vengeance tonight, but both teams are going to be missing a couple of bodies, playing a little short-handed.
Both teams losing 2 from what they had last night. Colonials without Patton and Walker. Dragons without Brannigan and Kuznitsky. So both teams are down 2 from how they were last night.
They will switch up the netminders, though, as Drexel will go to Ryan Nocerino, 6-4 on the year, a 3.92 goals against, and a 9.11 save percentage. And to the right of us, Mr. Reno Patrick, who probably the last 2 games have been his best games of the year, and Coach Chase is going to give him a nod here today.
Yeah, 2-6. Don't let that record fool you. Last 2 games doing really good. The charity night and then in Rhode Island, both letting up, I believe, 2 goals?
Yes.
So
2 or 3 goals, yep.
And doing much better in his second half of the season.
And it'd be nice, as we said last night, to have 2 really solid goaltenders in net for RMU, with Patrick Colburn having a phenomenal game last night, keeping his team in it. Now Reno Patrick's turn to hopefully do the same. 3 lines of forwards and 5 defense for Coach Joseph, and Drexel running a similar scheme here. So a lot of the same bodies we're going to be seeing for much of this hockey game.
Colonials running with the exact same lines that they had for that third period that was really strong for the Colonials, coming back and winning that game. Not in the third, but eventually in overtime.
The line that they'll get started with is the line that produced for 2 of the goals last night, Mike Hirsch, Tyler Draper, and Keith Reed, with Andrew Finnegan and Rob Byrne behind them. And then the aforementioned Reno Patrick in net. We'll send it downstairs now for the anthem. Anthem complete, and back in we go here for the first period of Dragons and Colonials. Will the ESCHL champions reclaim the win that they lost last night in a game that they fully dominated, except for that one bad turnover in the OT period?
This is an interesting one for sure. A couple goals that goes the Colonials' way that could be questionable. The Tyler Draper goal that was highly debated about among the coaches and the refs before eventually being called a goal officially.
You wonder if they'll start the same way they did, physicality. In the top unit, set the tone. Drexel kind of felt that early. Draper will square off in the draw here against Mudrick, and here we go. Reed will pick it up off the draw. We'll chip this one in. Out comes Nocerino to play it. We'll leave it behind the net, and the Dragons look to go up ice. Turn over to Hurst in front for Reed. Gets a stick on it. Bounces up high. Draper a shot, and getting across Nocerino with the blocker. And an early chance there for RMU. Down the other way, a shot comes in off the stick of Byrne. And into the netting, it rolls off the stick of Sambuco, who took a 10-minute major unsportsmanlike in the third period of last night's game.
You said last night, Patrick Colburn, the best at desperation saves. I mean, Nocerino could give him a run for his money on that one.
1 for 1. That's perfect so far here for Ryan Nocerino. There's Byrne behind the net. We'll play it around for Finnegan. Back for Byrne. Looks to exit out of his zone. Will hold and send it back around once more. Finnegan behind Patrick's crease, takes it over to Hurst. Hurst gets tripped up just beyond his own blue line. No call there. We picked up by Jacobs. Takes it into the corner. Byrne will meet him there. Shakes off the check. Caught in the skates. Bounces out to Jacobs. Up high to Muderick. Muderick's shot. Glove saved by Patrick. Rebound corralled by Keith Reed. He'll circle behind his own net. Reed with space will take it up. Chip it at center, and both teams will respectively get some fresh bodies onto the ice. Behind the net, Burkon goes through the middle. His pass is broken up. Dobransky chipped forward for Connor Moran. Sends it into the zone, and Burkon resettles. Had a goal last night, a very important goal to tie the game for the Dragons. Here's Matt Purdue's chances taken away. Down the other way comes the captain, Matt Harris. Harris takes the shot, diving effort by Dobransky to block it away. Two bodies in the corner respectively. In comes Moran to be the third. To the point it rolls. Over for Mikolas. Sends it down low to Harris. Loses it. Passanante to it. With space. Out wide it goes to Apud. Apud chips it into the zone. Colonials will get a couple of changes. Out comes the netminder to play it. Around for Burkon. Burkon dangles into the zone. Puts the shot on, blocked by Dobransky. Into the corner. Stripped away by Dobransky. Forward for Kohlberg. Kohlberg dangles in. Had a goal last night. Two that he's had in 2025 so far. Good hand-eye. Gets it over for Strutt. Strutt shot. Glove save. No Sereno. And he'll hold on to that one. 17-34.
After a very dominant first two periods by Drexel last night, 40 shots around there, as we said, it's been very RMU heavy, which is not what you'd expect after a heartbreaking loss and already being a very dominant game to begin with last night.
Riding the momentum early are the Colonials, with a lot of chances in their favor so far through the first 3 minutes of this hockey game. Kohlberg goes down low to Strutt. Up high to Martin. Martin shot, save, no Sereno getting across. And it'll stay in front of him, will be at the right circle.
I guess it's the third line tonight, but normally the fourth line has been really strong ever since being put together. And especially this second half of this semester have found the back of the net quite a bit.
Coach Joseph with applause as they make their way off the ice, and on comes the top unit. Isolde has some trouble with it. Patrick will be there to help him. Sends it around the horn. And sent back down low by the Dragons. Behind the net. Looking to shake off a man. Gets it across now to Steele. Up high to the point to Urbani. Urbani shot looking for a deflection. Rebound is there. Bounces off into the corner. And Hurst and clear. Urbani sends this one in on net. Patrick will get credit for a stop there. Leaves it off for Romeo Isolde. For Reed. Reed with some steam. Gets it out of his zone. Now across center. Has Draper with him. He'll hit him in stride. Draper dangling in himself. Leaves it off for Hurst. Hurst on his backhand. Cross for Draper. For Moran fresh off the bench. Up high Byrne. Couldn't settle. 2-on-1 the other way. Going across. Patrick getting there to make the save. Sambuco trying to do a little bit of a shot pass. Just trying to see which one worked. Patrick denies both. Byrne racing to it. To the point. Sent down by Doyle. Getting there's RMU. Urbani can't keep it in. Has a man behind him. He'll turn it over to Moran. He'll dangle through. Gets caught up by Doyle. And Drexel will pick the puck right back up. 4 minutes gone. And the exact opposite of last night's game in terms of offensive possession. Who's been dominating. We'll see if it continues, Andrew. But a little surprising, I'd say. Just the way that we saw the first two periods last night. Drexel through center. Hasn't managed Jacobs. Jacobs shot. Stopped by Finnegan. Leaves it for Moran. Back for Finnegan it goes. For Apud. Chips it to center. And quickly sent back in. Apud's another guy they're going to look to try to get on the score sheet. Hasn't been held to a goal since September of 2023. It's been a long stretch.
Been a long time.
The other one would have been Nate Isaac, but unfortunately him out of the lineup with an injury. One of the longest Ironman streaks on this Colonial team had sadly come to an end during the Rhode Island trip last weekend. That one will go off the ceiling and whistle dead here with 1 second shy of the 5-minute mark gone.
It's been a long time since we got to take a break. It's been a long shift, no whistles. This third, fourth line, you'll be calling that the rest of the game. Jumping back on. Hopefully getting another good offensive crack because they got one in the third last night.
You're going to see quick shifts, as I think as everyone kind of expects for both sides, with shortened benches. And there's a quick stop there by Patrick. You also wonder, one of the keys of last night was the physicality. How quickly do you think everything from last night transpires? Or as we talk about, the first game's more of that physical battle, the second's more of the skill battle.
Yeah, it's what we saw, I believe, earlier in the season with the Temple Owls when they came to visit. That first game, very, very aggressive, a lot of hits thrown and penalties, and the second game was very clean in comparison.
There's a shot there stopped by Patrick. He said we wonder, the only time will tell, it's only in the first couple of minutes of this hockey game, if that'll transpire. If history repeats itself, here's Lazine, a shot from the point deflected in front by Harris. A little too much on as a roll into the netting.
Something they did a lot last night was get the puck to the top and just fire it. Some shots last night looked like they were going for corners. Some were just looking for sticks. So definitely something you need to cover if you're the Colonials. Find a better way to get up to the points without leaving too many men open down below.
There's a quick win by Drexel. Will send it into the zone. A shot coming in. Patrick closes the wickets. Another good opportunity. Patrick getting the stop.
I believe that's the third time this game Patrick has rimmed it around the boards, and it goes right to a Dragon player. That one was the first time that they've fully corralled it and get a shot off right away. Looked a little off balance, did Patrick, on that one. So we'll see if that continues, if he keeps trying to rim it around.
We saw last night Drexel try to go for a stretch play. We saw Colburn come out and down the RMU side of things to get pucks forward. We know that the RMU goaltenders love to be active. Just have to do it carefully. So you don't want Tristan Jarry-esque goals. As Reed with a reverse check gets across for Hurst. Couldn't corral, and he'll send it down low. Behind that, Lazine. With some space. Sends it up off the wall. Hits a stick of Eisler. Dobransky will beat the puck to it. Goes up forward for Hurst. 5 goals in his last 4 games for the Chatham transfer. As that puck will end up in the stands. A young fan from Shawinigan always comes up with that one.
As the puck's going to go all the way back down in front of Patrick's zone. In front of Patrick's net, something we saw a lot with Patrick Colburn last night. A lot of offensive face-offs. My mistake, it's going to go to center ice. I expected that one to go to the offensive zone for Drexel.
Army might catch a tiny break there. Drexel last night, 2 power play goals. Something that RMU hopefully wants to change here in this hockey game, with them being remotely clean for the first half, and just the second half penalties started to take a toll. Up off to the point. Shots there blocked away by Passanante. Over it goes for Urbani. Finnegan gets a piece of it. Into the corner, rebound chance by Sambuco's pushed wide. Passanante. Forward for Moran, through his stick all the way down. It rolls, and an icing on RMU. 12:55 to go here in period 1.
I did mention a lot of shots from the point last night, but also, as we've seen so far this game, Colonial's doing a great job blocking shots, not letting shots come through. They did that well last night, starting off a really strong game with a lot of blocks today.
Passanante filling the role of Garrett Walker on that face-off. We'll see him and Moran probably trade depending on where the face-off will be, pairing up with Apud. We'll see how long the injuries might be as they've continued to pile up, with guys like Ragno and Sharamonti also out of the lineup. There's a quick shot rolling in, and a little too much on it, as Baccarin will send that into the netting. Out of play here, 12:36.
I don't know if Patrick was claiming that he touched that one to get a correct reading, or if he was trying to tell him I did not hit that one, so it should be out of the zone, but either way, we'll be in the zone.
One draw, Harris shot, ricochets around the boards. A heavy chance, and deflection in front by an RMU player almost makes its way through. Isolde gets it off of Harris, sends it around the wall, has Kohlberg. Kohlberg gets caught along the wall, has some reinforcement and Burns. 4 players digging for it. Kohlberg comes out with it, sends it behind the net for Burn. Another player who's been held goalless since I also believe September of 23. So another player who's trying to find the back of the net, but his role has changed dramatically in the past 2 years from forward to defenseman. A stretch pass goes across, Patrick makes a save, rebound pops out to Harris. Goes through the middle. Genovese gets dragged down to the wall. Drexel wants a call, none there. Martin laying the body. Here's Isolde. Stutter steps around a man, does get eventually taken down. As Burkhan looking to set the physicality for his team, starting to slowly ramp up here as we make the halfway mark of the first period.
I think if anything was going to start, it was going to start after the first call that didn't go a team's way, and that's exactly what happened with Drexel there. They wanted a call, they didn't get it, now they're going to pick up the physicality.
2-on-1, Kohlberg with Draper. Kohlberg elects the shot, goes off the pad, wanted Draper, but he was tied up as the Dragons defense gets back. Dangerous play results in icing. And RMU keeping that momentum on their side there, not letting the physicality game change them.
Perfectly executed chance for a pass off the pads. Just a little bit off angle on that one. Draper also had 2 people on him. So I don't know if the pass off the pads would have really worked as well as it intended to. Obviously it didn't because it never got to him, but a good idea nonetheless.
Off the face-up, tied up is Steele and Reed. It pops out to the point. Finnegan's shot rolls to Draper. Across for Reed, gets the shot on rebound for Draper, and No Sereno gets down. And Draper, with a little bit of shove as the whistle goes, almost takes the net down as the ref there to break it up. We talked with Coach Joseph before the game briefly about Draper setting the tone early with hits and whatever, and he says, I don't want to face a guy like him if I ever played. He's just so strong.
Yeah. That was, as you've seen throughout all of the games here, he is a brick wall, and you're trying to run into a brick wall. It's not fun.
It's not one of the longtime veterans of this Colonial team. Back for his 6th season. Here's a shot coming in from No Sereno. Finnegan drags him into the wall. Out with it comes Purdue. Purdue gets it to center. Will send this one off the wall. Out come No Sereno to at least get a small touch on it. Bounces to the Dragons. Glove down, Passanante gets it away. Over for Hurst. To the point for Purdue. Out of the zone it rolls. Possible 2-on-1. No Sereno racing. Gets it across. And a stop there. Trying to go back door to Jacobs. Reno Patrick, believe, got a piece of that one and pushes it wide. Finnegan across for Purdue. Forward up to Passanante at center. Colonials changing. Get the right personnel on. For Moran. Moran shot through traffic, blocked away. To the far corner, Passanante. Behind the net for Moran. Digging against 2 Dragons. They'll push it out to the left wall. Down comes Byrne. Gets pummeled over. Moran digging as well as Apud. Finally bounces out to the Dragons. Jacobs up ice. The leading point scorer of this Dragons team with 2 apples last night. 16 goals in 18 games for number 18 in blue. Dobransky for Apud. Back to Dobransky. Sends it around behind that for Byrne. Lets it go through. Past a bunch of sticks, and Harris resets at center. It's been a much slower paced game than last night, I'd say. I think both teams just trying to feel each other out here.
Yeah, seeing how the energy flows after that last game. Don't know if it's a fatigue thing either after a quick turnaround from last night to today.
Usually these games start at like 3, 4 o'clock maybe. This one being a 12:30 start. Definitely going to catch some shut-eye after the game ends at 10:30. You don't have much of a turnaround. Not much, one at all. I mean, out of the rink by 11:30, asleep by 1 a.m. maybe. It's quick. Here's Kohlberg trying to dangle in. Drexel can clear that out. Forward, this one rolls to Baccarin. Gets poked off by Byrne. Out wide it rolls. Genovese in front. Patrick diving down, gets a piece of it. Put him in a backdoor tap-in. Goldberg chips it into the zone. Out comes No Sereno. Gets stripped away by Strutt in front for Martin. Strutt whacking again. Martin in front, and no goal. No Sereno somehow getting a piece of it. I'm not sure. That was a lot of room for Martin to put that in.
It looked like he just put it right into his glove, because it's in his glove now, and that's what it looked like from my angle. Martin trying to just slide that one in the open cage and just puts it straight into the glove. Unfortunate, just any error, and that's an easy one.
Picked up by the Dragons, looking to capitalize off the big save of their netminder. This is William Nicholas. Moves it forward for Tuzo. Gets stripped away by Finnegan. Quickly up for Reed. Out wide to Hurst. Hurst entering the zone. Drop pass for Reed. Reed to his backhand for Draper. A shot hits off the mask of No Sereno. And they're going to get a goalie interference call as 5 Dragons surrounding Draper. And that's going to cause a crowd. Beat Draper for goalie interference.
Cross-check.
Cross-check. Was it more of him trying to stop himself, or do you think it was full send into the netminder?
I don't have an opinion, actually.
I'm not really sure.
I'm not sure either, because it also looked like the puck was right there, like up in the air right on top of him. So, interesting for sure.
And Draper is getting an explanation from the referee. He's none too pleased, and Coach Joseph is in the same boat as him. It could be also wondering if he got pushed into the netminder, if there's a little small shove that we didn't see too.
If there was no contact, if he wasn't going for the puck, that's an easy penalty.
Exactly. If he tried to stop himself and you still put your stick up, probably what happened. I could see why they call it. Yes. Drexel to the power play. They've had 2 power play goals last night. One coming off the stick of Burkham, the other from Genovese. There's a shot there that's blocked away. Whacking Finnegan. Drexel still holding on. In space to the outside. Shot by Genovese is blocked. Back to Burkon. Burkon's shot saved by Patrick. Harris moves it down low for Jacobs. Sends around the horn for Genovese. Genovese walking the blue line. Chips it down low for Burkon. Burkon looking. Up high, Genovese. Fakes, sends it down into the corner. Purdue's waiting for RMU. Takes it behind his net, wraps it around the glass, and kept alive at the point by Baccarin. Baccarin with Harris for Jacobs. To the point of Burkon. Over for Genovese. His shot. Doesn't get all of it. Drexel still holding on. Jacobs walking his way in. Alexis shot saved by Patrick. Moran gets a piece of it to the point. A clapper by Baccarin is denied. Baccarin again winding up is blocked by the Colonials. Burkon holding at the blue line. Over for Genovese. Back for Burkon. Looking for a deflection in front. Finnegan picks it up, banks it off the wall, and the Colonials get the clear. A lot of chances for the Dragons, but the Colonial Penalty Killers staying strong. 20 seconds of the Draper penalty. They'll send it off the wall. Center rolls to Eisler. Back it goes for Sambuco. Looks to dangle his way in. Crisscrossing, loses the puck. Sambuco to the point to Mudrick. Out comes Draper, back to even strength. Eisler across. Sambuco's shot blocked away by Draper. Reed battling as Draper gets dragged down to the ice with Sambuco. Nothing there. Eisler looking to go to the point. Stripped by Hurst, sends it to center, and bouncing is Carver. Carver out wide to Lazine. Lazine elects to go up ice. Meets Draper at the wall and sends it into the zone. Back is Dobransky. Leaves it for Byrne. 5:10 to go here in the first period. Still remains scoreless, 0-0. Dobransky. Stutter steps from Steele. Takes it around the center. Out wide to Martin. Martin puts it on net. Stopped there. And holding on is No Sereno. 4-5-5 to go here in period 1.
On that power play, No Sereno, puck comes all the way down to him, and he holds that for at least 15 seconds. That the Dragons could have been pushing up offensively as he's trying to just bait Reed into doing something. Instead, he's just standing there with the puck.
Here's Tolberg settling. Walks the blue line. A dangerous play, but does keep it in. A miscue. Almost sprung Byrne a little free. Here's Drexel. Tuzo. Out wide it goes for Baccarin. For Tuzo, a shot goes wide of the net. To the point, Doyle. Shot rolls in. Patrick makes the save. Looked like it had deflection in front.
Looked like Tuzo did get a piece of that one. So, but that was more, for Patrick, that was a, oh, look what I found kind of save.
Stand there and like, hey, look at that. Glove. That's pretty nice, huh? No, the Acha website says differently, but Reno's told me countless times last week. He said, I had north of 55 saves, regardless of what the Acha site gave me. So the save percentage that he has is not correct, at least from everyone that I've talked to. There's Patrick there with a stop. Hopefully today they'll give him an extra couple of saves to his name. I'm sure he'd like that.
I'm sure at a home bar, and you're going to get more saves on your on the docket than at an away rink.
Yeah, they help the home goalie way more. And
one thing on that last draw, Passanante looked like he got slashed on the way down. Was reaching at his hand from after Sambuco won that draw backwards. So we'll see if that's something to keep an eye on for Sambuco.
Don't need any more players going down. Just those small little hacks and whacks eventually takes their toll as a shot off the draw stopped by Patrick. Here's a shot from the point by Urbani. Rebound comes out by Harris. Save there from Patrick. To the point, Doyle. Blocked by a food. Sent behind the net to Harris. Back for Sambuco. To Urbani looking for a stick. Goes off Passanante and wide. Passanante for Moran, quickly up to Apud. Tries to string Passanante free. He picks it up just beyond the circle. Down low for Apud. Takes the body, still holding on to the puck. Looks to shovel his way back behind the net, now turning. Apud for Finnegan. Finnegan trying to walk down. Shoots it off his own player. Out of the zone it rolls. Almost a 2-on-1, but Apud getting back breaks it up. Moran enters off the give from Finnegan. Moran holding. Looks for a shot. That rolls through a ton of bodies and into the far corner. Drexel settling at center. Sambuco. One-on-one with Finnegan. Elects the drop pass. Shot comes in. Save. Rebound goes off the helmet of Patrick. Finnegan with a little reverse and a little how do you do turning around to that one. Burkon for Jacobs. Pad save Patrick. Passanante to pick up the loose change. Forward for Hurst. Digging for it. And it pops free. Settling Passanante for Reed. Reed by his lonesome with RMU changing. Now has Hurst off the bench. Hits it off. Pass off pad. Behind the net it goes for Burkon. As he exchanged some pleasantries with Reed. Seems like another player's getting slowly more physical as this game goes on is Ben Burkon. Playing a lot of offensive defenseman kind of role here today. And meeting guys like Finnegan down in the RMU zone. Here's Reed. Against Burkon, looks to dangle in. Out of the net comes No Sereno as Draper goes diving across neutral ice. Mudrick will send this in. Purdue gets back, gets shoved into the wall, gets it across for Hurst. Quickly up to Byrne, out of the zone, and quickly sent in by the Dragons. Under 2 to go. Still 0-0 here at the Clearview Arena. Game 2 of the Dragons and Colonials. Strutt at center, sends this one in. Colonials change. Out of the net comes No Sereno, will leave it off for Carver. Sean Carver holding, looking for somewhere to go. Sends it through center, through everybody. Icing is beat out by Backer, and out comes Patrick to play it, and quickly sends it up ice. A smart play there by the mobile goaltender. Byrne for Strutt. Chips it into the zone. No Sereno will come out to play it. These guys just don't like whistles, do they? Goaltenders are going to keep playing this puck. Backer takes the shot, goes up high on Patrick, but does make the save. 65 ticks to go in this first period.
I don't want to jinx it too early, but we said the Colonials need 2 good goaltenders to make their way down the stretch, and Coburn last night and so far Patrick have looked really strong and looked like that piece that they were missing that could really push them.
It's an 8-game losing streak to end the year. They start off with a win against Merciers. They get blown out by Rhode Island, and then a really close game against Rhode Island last week, and then the win last night to Drexel. Things are slowly working up as they hit CHMA play next week. The shot rolls through the blue paint, and Finnegan clears it off to the side. A shot by Arbani ricochets around the wall. Hurst whacking at it, goes out to Draper, and can push it out of the zone. Draper for Hurst. Leaves it off for Draper, looking to enter. Offsides Colonials will have to reset. Finnegan banks it forward, gets it to himself, sends it into the corner. Wants Hurst to chase, RMU will change. 23 seconds here in period 1. Finnegan walks it in. Up high for Hurst. Hurst walks in, looks for the deflection in front of Passanante, still whacking at it. It's stuck behind the net. 7 seconds to go in the period. Harris looks for the home run play. Has a man breakaway. Save. Patrick. Rebound is denied. And the clock hits 0. An A-plus opportunity for Sambuco. But Patrick, wonderful in the one-on-one. And will send to the team's dressing room tied at 0.
And also, if that's another 2 seconds, Jacobs is all alone and Patrick is not set. So another 2 seconds on that play, and it could be a little bit different story.
Talk about the pass from Harris. All the way behind his own net. Gets through both defensemen and springs Sambuco free. Insane.
Dobransky saw it last second, might have heard a little inch from the coach saying behind him, and he turns around full sprint to try and catch up to him. Almost breaks up the pass unintentionally with his stick, but it just gets right to the stick of Sambuco, and he comes in all alone.
The only thing to add to the score sheet is a 1-poundie from Tyler Draper that was successfully killed. 0-0 into the dressing room, 15 minutes on our intermission clock. We'll be back to the second period of Dragons and Colonials right after this. Second period of Drexel and RMU about to get underway. As we approach the end of January here, Andrew, there's one, and even for some, about a half a month of hockey left. So you were a little busy bee during the intermission. You were figuring out some playoff scenarios. What do you got for us?
All right, so we'll start at the top. Division 1, currently in the 5 seed. 6 teams will get in the playoffs. 6 games left. Magic number 4. That means they need 12 points to get in, and then they will clinch. I should have written down the first team out, but it's they can get 12 points or just drop the first team out drops 12 points. D2, they're in the 4 seed right now. 4 teams get in. First time they can make the playoffs this year. 4 games left in their season. Magic numbers 3 3/4 because D1, 2, and 3 are all weird and have 3 points per win as opposed to D4. So they need 10 points to get in of a remaining 12, or as I said, first team out just needs to drop some points as well.
Okay.
D3 currently in the 5 seed. 6 teams will get in the playoffs there. 8 games left for them in league play. Their magic number 7.66, so they get all but 1 point and make the playoffs. So they need to just keep winning or have teams below them lose. For D4, much easier. Currently in the 2 seed, 2 teams in. 2.5 needed to get in. 5 points above Carnegie Mellon.
All right. So things are looking on the up and up across all 4 here. As of right now, all 4 would make the playoffs, which is great to hear. I think that'd be the first time that has ever happened. But a lot still has to go right. And the D1 Colonials here looking to upset Drexel once again and help out their national ranking before CHMA play starts next weekend at John Carroll and at home versus everyone's favorite rival, the IUP Crimson Hawks. We'll see the D3 Crimson Hawks later today. This is the first of 3 games on the slate for us, as it's a long, hectic day. Here's Drexel down the O-zone, looking to get something started at the early break of this period. Reed will get up for Hurst. Into the zone he goes. Looks to walk through the defense. Out wide, picked up by Drexel. He'll play it behind the net. Moran gets his stick lifted. Over for Baccarin. Baccarin goes back for Steele. Quickly up for Baccarin. Back are the Colonials. Baccarin shot blocked away by Finnegan. Baccarin gets taken away by the Colonials. Back for Passanante. Clear attempt. Harris keeps it in. Harris to the wall. Back looking for a man in Burkhan. He'll have to retreat to center. Burkhan, D to D for Mikolas. He'll bank it into the zone. Patrick out of the net, wanted the hold. Goes around him. In front, Harris shot, save Patrick. Patrick continues to hold on to that one, 18-36. Good chances here for Drexel.
Definitely. After the first half of that first period for the Colonials, Drexel kind of took over again. You saw a couple chances for the Colonials, but it was really the Dragons taking advantage of doing what they did last night. And that's how it seems to be started this period as well.
Third line hops on for Coach Joseph. Martin against Harris. Wins it back. Into the corner it goes for Mikolas. Behind that wanted Harris. Venture rules to Sambuco. Chips it down low, wanting Harris again. Dobransky there to pick it off for Kohlberg. Quickly up for Martin. Martin across center will chip it into the zone. They'll go to Chase. Out of the net comes Nocerino. Strutt challenging him. Dobransky, point shot, stick save, Nocerino. Nocerino will deflect that one into the netting. Another quick save there for the Colonials.
A little bit of a offensive burst. Hopefully this can continue for the Colonials if they want to break this tie, especially with this third, fourth line out there.
One draw by the Dragons. They'll send this out of the zone, banking off the wall. Icing is waved off. Sambuco putting on the burners. Looking for a stick in front. Will roll to Strutt, out wide to Kohlberg. Kohlberg chips it into the zone. Out comes Nocerino to play it. She picked up by the Dragons. They'll work it out. Harris. Gets shoved down the ice by Draper, a little slow to his feet. Jacobs across, a shot saved by Patrick on Mikolas. And Drexel continuing their prowl here in period 2.
Looked really strong, able to get that 2-on-1, and I mean, Patrick able to get across. Maybe a quicker shot might have beat him, but holding on to that, trying to get him to bite. Patrick looking real strong.
Bouncing puck is picked up by the Dragons off the faceoff. Turning with it is Muderick, takes the shot, saved by Patrick. Isolde banks it off the wall for Draper. Blocked by Muderick. Behind the net it rolls. Eisler for Muderick. To the point for Doyle. Across, a shot by Urbani, saved Patrick. Rebound is there and pushed wide by Muderick. Reed settling for Draper all the way back to Finnegan. Finnegan will dance his way forward, leaves it off for Isolde. Isolde banks through Reed, and they'll go for the change as Drexel will get back to hold on to this puck as they'll get a couple bodies as well. Doyle through center, sent in by Eisler, chasing down. Finnegan takes himself into the wall, a little slow to his feet. Blocking with his Genovese. To the point, a shot goes through, sticks and wide. Passanante picks up his own blue line, goes cross ice to Apud. Apud looks to dangle in, wanted Moran out wide, just a little too far in front of him. Lazine back defensively. Chips it off the wall to himself. Skies this one off the wall, a foot race between a pair of sevens, and the Colonial 7 will outrace and get the icing for his team. 16:02 to go.
Isolde doing a great job getting back there, showing some speed. With 7D, Dragons are going to try that all day because you're going to be tired on that back end. Those stretch passes where you just have them beat the defenseman, it worked already against Dobransky. Did not work there against Isolde, so they're going to probably keep trying that.
Another stretch pass opportunity. This time Purdue is back. We saw it a lot last night, and they were successful a couple of times. But for most of that second period, which matches up to what we have right now, the stretch pass with the long chain just seemed to help in their favor. Here's Baccarin. Sends it down low, trying to settle with Jacobs. Baccarin poking at it, and bounces up to the point. Set down low by Carver. A battle along the wall. Chance in front goes off of Burns' skate. He'll push that one around for Purdue. gets crunched as you'll exchange some pleasantries with Baccarin. Moran, excuse me, puts this on Metapute skating down and held by the netminder Nocerino.
Not really seen much from Nocerino. He has some amazing saves early in that period, but a lot of the Colonials' chances, which is a good thing if all you remember is the incredible saves. It means the Colonials have had some really good opportunities, but also not a lot of mid opportunities that could result in a rebound.
More shots equal more opportunities. There's a chance that rolls to Kohlberg, banking it off the pad, looking for a rebound for himself, taken away by the Dragons. Harris gets it out of the zone, pushes it toward their bench. Foot race, Finnegan back, and elects to go for the hit and takes Sambuco into the boards. Martin tied up with Harris. Dobransky will now join. Pops free, a chance in front, and Sambuco couldn't settle. To the point, off a stick, sailing wide of the net there from Burkon. Around Sambuco. For Mikolas. Round for Sambuco, once more lets that go through past Burkon, and he'll retreat back to go pick up that puck. Nocerino leaves it for Burkon. Up for Harris. Into the zone, onsides barely there, the Dragons. They look to put it on net, Finnegan takes it away. Up for Hurst off his boot, and icing is called on the Colonials. 14 minutes to go here in the second period, still 0-0.
Colonials looking for that great chance. And it's, I mean, as I said, great chances have been coming for the Colonials, but they're just being answered. Maybe you look for one of those just weak ones that just make its way in. Just fire things at the net, see if things will bounce in a weird way and go in.
Kind of what they figured out with Treat last night. It seemed like consecutively they kind of picked the same spot over and over again once they figured it out. Now again, that only took till the later half of the second period, but eventually they did. But it all starts with just getting more shots on front of the goaltender. This unit responding with two of them last night, Hurst, Reed, and Draper. Here's Finnegan. Sends it down low, no one home. An easy pickup there for Doyle. He attempts to clear, Finnegan shot, rebound pops out. Hurst in front for Reed. Couldn't push that one on, net and wide. And Drexel can send it out. Here's Finnegan. Reverses behind his own net, now with some speed, takes it up himself, and will push it into the zone and head off for the change. Nocerino leaves it off for Doyle. Sends it off the stick of Reed at center. Dobransky pinching. Couldn't push that puck up. Burned back. Hits it off his own teammate. And Drexel now circling. To the point. Carver. Shot. Blocked by his own teammate. Carver for Lazine. Sends it down low for Steele. Or excuse me, Mudrick. Down low for Steele. Back for Mudrick. The point, Carver. Carver shot. Hits off the boot of Steele and wide of the net. Lazine. Stutter step. Now back pedals. Over for Carver. Carver shot, stick saved by Patrick. Rebound comes out to Steele. Is blocked by Dobransky. Battle behind that. Two Dragons against one Nick Dobransky. Looking to just somehow push it out. Dobransky trying to kill as much clock as he can. Out with it come the Dragons. Genovese, fresh off the bench. Crosses with Lazine, elects to shot. Patrick squares to it and makes the save. 12:09 here in period 2.
A lot of pressure for the Dragons there. Colonials couldn't get off. Now they're going to get a full sail as Dobransky fighting behind the net against two Dragons, and puck just bounces that way and unable to do anything are the Colonials. Dragons are really good at passing this puck around the zone.
Kohlberg gets stripped. The stick gets caught. And down to the ice goes Baccarin. Didn't seem like much, but enough to draw the penalty. As Kohlberg argued it was his own doing, I think the stick definitely did get in there.
I didn't get a good look at it. I was kind of sitting back at the moment, and we got this little wall here that covers that small portion of the ice that it was at.
It does.
So I didn't get to see fully, but I'll take your word for it.
Coach Joseph getting assurance, but it looked like just an easy, like, oh, my stick's kind of like in one hand loose thing, and then the guy's like, oh, there you go, penalty.
Which we saw an embellishment call last night.
We did.
On the Colonials.
I don't think this is the same officiating crew, but if it was, they're not afraid to shy away from that. With the power play to work, Sambuco across for Jacobs. Out came Patrick. I believe that might have rang off the post.
I didn't hear a post. I thought that hit the back of the net and just swung out.
Maybe. Jacobs shot off the tic-tac-toe and goes wide of the net. Sambuco to the point, back right. Shot comes in, off the back of the net. Finnegan settling, trying to get it out, loses it. Jacobs for Baccarin, back to Jacobs. Goes across Sambuco. Goes back to Burkon. Back to Sambuco, one-timer shot rings off the high glass. Moran can't settle, trying to backhand it out, rolls back to Jacobs. Across, it goes to Sambuco. Challenged by Passanante, works his way in, kick save, Patrick rebound, pops to the point, Burkon, shot, hose over the net, broken stick, as Sambuco will get some help from the bench. Harris to Sambuco, back to Harris, down low to Sambuco once more, continues the catch with Harris, around for Burkon, back to Harris, across to Sambuco, in front for Jacobs, a save by Patrick. Sambuco for Harris at the left point. Works his way off the blue line for Burkon. Back to Harris. Down low Sambuco. Holding. For Harris, a shot saved by Patrick with the toe. And now Moran will gently make his way up ice, help his teammates get a change, and we'll get a shot on that in the process. Looking for the home run play was no Sereno, but Purdue and Dobransky back to prevent it. 7 seconds of power play time, one final rush here. Bennett Genovese looks in front, no one home, and a successful kill for the Colonials, make it 2 straight. Behind the net, with the freshman coming onto the ice. Shot comes in, rolls wide, Purdue looks to play it to the far wall. Genovese is there. In front for Mudrick. To the point, kept alive by Doyle. Purdue gets his stick lifted, couldn't get it out. Hurst loses that one at the blue line, barely kept alive by Steele. Across for Genovese, to the point. Shot from Urbani, hits off of the blocker of Patrick. Draper sends it to center as down is Purdue. He got a stick caught in the midsection and slow to his feet. Not what you need if you're the Colonials being down below defender. He will now finally make his way to the bench. Reed walks it in. Shot rolls off the shoulder. Purdue actually can't get off. He has to wait at center. Will send it in and goes right after Steele, and he's going to draw a crowd. He takes Genovese to the ice. Still refusing to get up. We saw this in a couple games ago where, I forget who it was, you get hit and you stay on because the extra little motivation you have afterwards. Here's Martin. Plays it around the wall. Moves it forward. Even numbers coming back. 2-on-1 to the outside. Couldn't settle was Tuzo. Gets crunched by Dobransky. Behind that Tuzo. Wanting to go up high. Strutting his lane. Will work his way down behind the net. Tuzo in front. Looks for the deflection. Saved by Patrick. Rebound is finally put home. Multiple chances in front. And finally, Pietro Baccarin nets his 6th of the season. It's 1-0 Dragons.
Not much you can do there if you're Patrick. Bunch of rebounds. But, I mean, the Colonials could not get it out of their own zone for a long portion of time there, even after the penalty expired.
As Purdue finally makes his way to the bench and seems to be okay, but just a tired bunch of Colonials there. It was what, 3.5 minutes of constant play? The entire power play plus some. And finally, Pietro Baccarin makes him pay. And then get 2 as Harris pops the water bottle of Patrick. And a quick 2-goal lead for Drexel. Really feeling it here in the last couple seconds.
Yeah, they've really turned it up. You got a lot of possession. making it pay. I feel like that one was definitely in a. We got so much possession that should count for 2 goals, and that one did.
Harris, one of the sharpshooters of this team, that's his 11th of the year. He had 23 last year, so known for scoring goals, and there's a reason why there's a C on his chest. Here's Hurst looking to get it back. Backhand shot saved by Nocerino. Quickly up to Sambuco, leading the rush for the Dragons. A drop pass. Shot from Jacobs, and he gets pummeled along the wall by Draper. Reed the other way. Has Hurst. Gives it to him up high. Skates his way in. Across for Draper. Draper in front for Reed, just ahead of his stick. Finnegan winds up shot. Shoulder save by Nocerino. Net slightly off for him. Harris pinning it behind the net. Reed up high. Martin shot glove save. As that'll go into the bench. And a nice catch there from the RMU Colonials.
No catch.
No catch?
No catch.
Oh, no fun.
A great opportunity for Reed there on that break-in. Just missing his stick. That's a backdoor tap-in.
It's Coach Joseph getting his piece in with the referee as well there. Kept alive barely at the line there by Byrne off the face-off win. Dobransky stepping up. Lays the body, keeps it in the zone for the Colonials. Dobransky holding. Backhand attempt. Pushes it on net. A pad save there. Behind the net. Picked up by Urbani. Stripped away by Martin. For Strutt. Strutt backhand. A loose puck. Covered by Nocerino. Plays it out to Urbani. Into open space. Dobransky puts it towards the net. Hits off a Drexel skate. Almost bounced its way through. Strutt wants to go behind the net for Colbert. Off the back of the net. Urbani coming out with it. Goes out wide to center. Dobransky there. Quickly plays it in. Martin tries to walk through. Offsides. I believe they touched up. If not, it was really close.
I think Moran was still on his way, or whoever it was on the far wall was still trying to get their way back. Just barely offsides. I think it was the right call.
It's hard to see. Obviously, you're paying attention more to the far side there, but Coach Joseph not happy. Probably did have the right call, though, did the referee. Apu shoves his man to the wall. A hard check taking down Tuzo. Steele banks it off the wall. Kept out by Dobransky. Dobransky dangling his way in. Continuing and using his body to make the Dragons pay. Passanante out wide for Byrne. Sends it in the corner for Moran. He popped out to the Dragons. Send it to center. Byrne keeps it. Back for Apu. Gets away from one. Up the wall for Moran. Gets his pocket picked. Passanante in the far corner. Uses it. Backer in. With Steele in front, and they'll score. Baccarin beautifully paced pass, and Nathan Steele collects his 3rd of the season. It's 3-0 Dragons.
Just an unfortunate little chip there. Passanante can't get a stick on it. Goes right to a Dragon stick, and they're in 2-0 basically.
As what was a 0-0 game for more than half of this contest. In the last 3 minutes, 3 goals for the Dragons. Responding in a big way after the 4-3 loss in overtime last night. And probably looking for more before this period expires. 5:15 here in the second period. Harris. His pass broken up. Hurst is sprung free at center. Heads to the outside. Alexa shot. Gets a piece of it off the glove of Nocerino. Draper for Reed. Gets his stick tied up. Asoli trying to keep it in, cannot do so. And sent down the length of the ice. 4:45 to go here in the second period. Bouncing puck, Finnegan settling. Goes across for Isolde. Around for Finnegan. Lets it go through to Strutt. Back for Finnegan. Banks it off the wall for Isolde. Across to Finnegan once more. Quickly up for Strutt. To Martin. Into the zone they go off the chip. Out of the net comes the netminder, no Serena. Plays it behind the wall. Strutt is there. Puts it to Martin. Plays it off the back of the net. Couldn't hold on to it. Harris forward for Sambuco. And quickly sent back in by Isolde. Here's Burkhan. Muscles it the length of the ice. Isolde back. He's pressured by Harris. Isolde coming out with it. A chance in front. A loose chance for Jacobs. But denied. Jacobs shot. Saved by Patrick Cotton up high. He will hold on. 3:43.
A little bit of a good rush there for the Colonials. You need to get one before the end of this period if you want to change the momentum, that's for sure.
A little Adobe notification on our headphone. Says it wants to update. Not right now, Adobe.
No.
Not doing that. One face-off by the Dragons to the point to Doyle. They shot through a lot of traffic. Hits off the post. Another far shot there by Urbani is denied. Along the corner. Passanante. Behind the net, around for Byrne. Byrne plays it to the slot, trying to find an RMU player. Ends up on a Drexel stick. It's E2. Up high, a shot there, and denied by Doyle. A lot of point shots from the Dragons here, just looking for some sort of sticks in front.
Yeah, I said that earlier in the first period. They like to take the shots from the point. Not necessarily always looking for a tip, because sometimes they're trying to pick a corner, as we saw with Doyle's shot there that just rained off the post from the corner. But they do seem to be firing from that point a lot.
Back they go. Urbani in front, had a stick and just pushed wide of the net. Net is off and giving Patrick a tiny bit of a break there as Drexel continuing to swarm. Right circle to the left of Patrick. As Tuzo didn't want to take the face off. He'll be stuck now as he'll go against Reed. Byrne plays it behind the net. Big hit thrown by Dobransky. Caught underneath a Drexel player out with it, comes Baccarin. The point Urbani. Urbani's shot hits off of Drexel forward and off into the corner. Now the other way comes Hurst for Draper. Out wide to Byrne. Up high to Hurst. Gets that stripped away from onsides barely are the Colonials. I thought maybe that one had a chance with the linesman not giving the benefit of the doubt there. Hurst. Bouncing puck rules to Reed. Dobransky will keep it alive with the point. Dobransky. Down low for Reed. Holden. Across for Byrne. Byrne walks it down low. Hurst. Reed firing. Shot is blocked. Draper picks it up. Meets his man behind the wall. Another big hit thrown by Reed. And he'll take his man to the ice. A lot of frustration on this Colonial forward group. And luckily no call there. There's Hurst. Looked to dangle forward. He had a man out wide. Martin did not get it to him. Almost too many men for Drexel. Wisely getting back to the bench. Byrne banks it. Once Martin. Flips it to center. Kohlberg out wide to Strutt. Strutt walking in. Shot shoulder save there. Kohlberg blocking the first time. Strutt puts a backhander on. And wide it goes. Finnegan stepping up. Plays it down behind the net. Lone chaser Kohlberg. 1:10 to go. In period 2, 3-0 Drexel. With 3 goals in a 3-minute span. Patrick plays it to the wall. Kohlberg takes it in front of his netminder. A dangerous play, but luckily there to make the save. Kohlberg for Martin. Martin takes it in, drop pass to Strutt. Strutt shot blocked away by Carver. Home run pass, successful. Sambuco sprung free. Forwarded shot by Harris. Save is made. Patrick rebound. And here comes the meeting of the guards. All 5 Colonials collapsing in on the one Drexel player. And a lot of words there after a little love tap to the goaltender from Carver.
I have a feeling things might boil over to the third, but we haven't really seen that at all this game after boiling over yesterday. So, not expecting a whole lot of fireworks to end this game. I think both teams are kind of tired from a physical game yesterday. Don't know if they want to bang up their bodies even more.
For the Colonials next week, as we said, the 2 top dogs in the CHMA are on the plate for them at John Carroll and then at home versus IUP. One where you need, if you're hurt, you're probably still going to play. Those are how important those kind of games are. You do not need to be down more bodies than you need to. Apud out wide for Moran. There's 10 seconds to go here on the period. One final rush for the Dragons. Genovese couldn't hold on to it. Chipped along the wall. Firing a shot blocked by Finnegan, and the clock will hit zeros. 3 goals from the Dragons coming from Backer and Harris, and finally from Steele gets us to where we are. It's going to be a very interesting third period.
Definitely, and I feel like, as we said about the difference between last night and tonight, it's either going to be much worse or it's going to be very calm for a period.
One way to find out. Come back in about 15 minutes for the third period of Dragons Colonials, coming up after this break. Third period set to get underway here from the Clearview Ice Arena. Drexel 3, RMU 0, and the second of the back-to-back between these two hockey clubs. RMU won last night 4-3 in overtime. This one a little bit of a different story, with 3 goals in that second period coming 3 minutes apart at the halfway point. I'm Cade McCrory alongside the Andrew Keel. First of our 3 games on the day as well.
First of our 3 games, that's for sure. Well, next one slated to start in about an hour and a half.
Yep. And after that, at 8:45.
Yep.
That's a long day for us. But let's wrap things up on this rink first before we head our way next door. Yeah, they have to make us change rinks too. How nice of them. And then come right back to this rink later on. Just a great way of scheduling. RMU trying to come back. They're going to get sprung free. It's Reed shot. Rings one off the post. Almost a statement piece to get this third period going.
That's exactly what the Colonials would have needed if that's just an inch to the left. That goes off the bar and in.
Reed kind of snake bitten in the goal column as of recently, but when he gets going in the goals, he doesn't seem to stop. And if he's saving it for the end of the year, I think the Colonials will gladly take that. Quickly thrown in by the Dragons. Isolde back to pick it up. Momentum starts off in the Colonials' favor. Moran gets a piece but avoids the icing. Out comes Nocerino. Leaves it for William Michaels. Gets stripped away. Here's a Pood. 3-on-1 across. Passanante couldn't hold on to it. Gets off the referee. Gives RMU a little bit of a lucky kick there. And a quick save from Nocerino, and there we go. Passanante, Moran mixed up with a couple of Dragons. As down to the ice went, I believe, Burkhan, who's been mixed up in a couple of plays here today.
Yeah, I mean, he had a lot to say last night, and then tonight he's getting back into it, so he's definitely a firecracker on this Dragon team.
I don't know what was said in the locker room. It seemingly has been effective thus far. Kohlberg in front. Hadstrut bounces off his stick. And here comes Sambuco the other way. Byrne forward for Martin. For Kohlberg, caught in his skates. Turned over. And the captain Harris drives in. For Sambuco, shot. Glove save by Patrick. He'll hold on. 18-29.
I feel like Nocerino faced more high-quality shots in that couple seconds than probably the same amount the rest of the game. So definitely a wake-up call for him to start this third period.
Martin on the face-off. Be won by the Dragons. They'll send this one around behind the net. Losing it to Kohlberg. Forward for Strutt. Strut sends it into the zone. Out comes No Sereno to play it. Gets challenged, and Dragons will play it to the wall. 2-zone. Sends it off, and Patrick will come out to play it. He ricocheted this one around the wall. Finds the stick of Dobransky. Now for Hurst. To Draper across center. Had a key power play goal in last night's contest. Dragons will get it back. Partial 3-on-2. Now with Hurst getting back, makes it even. A shot comes in. Patrick glove save. Rebound whacked out of the air by Pietro Baccarin. This may be playing the wrong sport. That was pretty clean.
Yeah, definitely. Also, potentially could have been a high sticking call as the initial whack above the shoulders. The baseball swing was below, but 2 high sticking calls. So I don't know.
I'm counting on the bench here. I think RMU's missing somebody. I'm not sure if I'm counting wrong or not, but I think they're down a defender.
It looks like they are down 1.
Might be Purdue. You know, Purdue went down in the second with a little bit of a high shot, but I do not see him on the bench.
I do not see him on the bench either, so that could be a bad story for sure.
Purdue only played in 1 game this season. That was the opening game of the season against Canisius, and he got hurt in that contest. Did not play until the charity game against Merciers 3 weeks ago. Played that game, the 2 Rhode Island games played last night, and now only halfway through this game. It's just been a rough injury-filled season from Mount Purdue. Drexel coming in, shot save there. A rebound pops out, still loose. It goes off into the corner. Mudrick sends it down low for Genovese. Gets hit off by Isolde. Here's Nathan Steele. Circling. Sends it down low. In front, looking for a stick. Mudrick wanted Genovese. Uno got to get it in the corner. Around Steele, sending it down is Lazine. Round it goes. Drexel changing slowly behind the play, taking 1 guy off at a time. Some smart business from that Drexel bench. Attempted Michigan by Harris. Finnegan was having none of that. Usually you see Michigan's happen in more blowout games. Harris a little risky.
Yeah.
Knowing, especially a guy like Finnegan who can make you run for your money. Patrick will elect to hold on wisely with a man coming down, and Jacobs will get the cover here, 16-04.
As with Purdue's absence, Coach Joseph seemingly mixing up the D pairing, no longer going with Finnegan and Byrne. Now Dobransky and Byrne are going to stick together, as well as Isolde and Finnegan.
It's just a little more of a safe, I guess, with Isolde being the youngest defenseman, the not true defenseman. To get one of your better defensive defenseman veterans out there. And a tap in there by Jacobs. He was due. These last 2 games, his 17th of the season, makes it 4-0 Drexel.
That's just, it looked too easy for Jacobs right there. It almost looked like Jacobs was pointing to his other player. I don't know if that was a, wow, what a pass, or a, it's actually your goal because Byrne put it in himself. Those sticks were right there.
I think benefit of the doubt, just based off of the line, I think they're going to give it to
Jacobs.
Jacobs.
I think so too.
It really might have went off of Byrne. Just the way it bounced, you're just not too sure. But a 4-0 lead for the Dragons. And Jacobs continuing his monstrous season. Byrne getting a couple whacks in as he battles with Sambuco. Warriors will play this to center, sent in by Travis Strutz. Sambuco will send it around the wall. Sambuco. Up for Burkhan. Out wide for Jacobs. Jacobs backhand saved by Patrick. Settled by Kohlberg momentarily. Kohlberg. The center. Out wide to Strutt. Strutt sends it into the wall. Out comes the netminder Sereno to play it. Sambuco and Harris getting the assist on that last goal. Finnegan laying the body on Harris. Isolde there to back him up. Out for Reed. Reed will circle behind his own net. Had an early chance in the first couple of seconds of this game that ran off the post. They'll just sky this one towards center. Let down by Urbani and placed on net. Here's Isolde. Gets crunched along the wall. Out wide Hurst. Picks it up. Up for Reed. The center will soft this one in and played down by Sereno. Last couple of shots from him have all been fly balls, seem to settle. A lot of baseball players on this team I see. Shot comes in, Finnegan lays the boom, taking down E2. Now if it comes back around. Across, looking for the stick of Tulozo. Wanted E2 down low, behind that background, we'll get there. Finnegan, corralling from RMU, can get it out of the zone. Waiting there is Doyle, and we'll soft this one on net. Patrick with the save. At the end of the day, the goals against won't look the greatest for Reno Patrick, but he has had, I believe, a phenomenal effort here. It's been the battle of the goaltenders the last two nights, where without these two, these scores are easily 7, 8, 9, nothing probably.
Yeah, all four goaltenders this weekend have looked incredible, and it's only a matter of time before Colonials get some offense in front of them.
You only do so much. Now down to 9 forwards and 40. You're going to get tired pretty quickly, and that's not something that they expected probably coming into this weekend, but are making do and holding their own. Drexel a little shorthand as well. Pood getting a stick in there, trips up one of the Dragons. No call there. Referees seemingly are probably going to let him play on until something oblivious happens as Pood gets a little bit of his hands up high on a Dragon. Here's Lazine's shot, rings that off his own player. And now Passanante with some speed. We'll chip this in. We'll fake and now head to the bench. Dragons corralling. Send it along the wall. Moran there to break it up. Sends it back in. Kohlberg reaching. Dragons will get out of it and retreat back. Byrne will grab it at center for RMU. Sends it into the zone. Carver along the wall. Dobransky plays it to center. Harris lifts the stick, drives in, has a man, and Byrne gets it back out. Here's Strutt with Kohlberg. Kohlberg's shot is blocked away. Harris behind the net. Plays this one up. Dobransky settles. Sends it back in. Little help from Strutt. Now Martin. And Drexel plays it right back. RMU will change. Chasing down a foot race. Dobransky gets muscled by Jacobs. Battling. Out with it comes the Colonials as Reed jumps in. Reed around one, make it two. He gets tripped up. Penalty coming up, but a 3-on-2. Martin across and they'll score. Martin plays it off the stick of the Dragon and into the back of the net. William Nicholas will get the assist, but Braden Martin will get the goal and gives RMU some life here in the middle stage of the third period.
Hey, and if you're the Colonials playing in Altoona, you'll still get a power play out of this.
Is that how that works?
That's how it happened in our game in Altoona just last week.
They're going to talk about it. It'd be insanity. Let's see if RMU will head to the power play here too. I'm not sure if that's how it'll work or not. But they'll talk to the benches and see. That Martin gets his 4th of the season, his 2nd in 2025. And that line has really been buzzing, Andrew. I mean, Kohlberg, Strutt, and Martin have been all over the puck, especially in that third period last night. That got Kohlberg the goal, and now Martin gets rewarded here today.
Yeah, that fourth line has looked strong ever since being put back together. Getting one in the charity night. I wonder what they're discussing, if he does go in the box or not.
Yeah, both captains from RMU here, Reed and Draper, trying to save their piece. The center ice it goes. Obviously the goal does stand, but they will remain 5-on-5. I wonder if that's just a CHMA rule, or maybe it's an everything rule. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But regardless, RMU gets one on the board. Still a lot of work to be done, but not impossible. Hurst to Draper, quickly up to Reed. Reed with space, winds up, fires, and puts one off the glass. Was really feeling himself on that shot.
What was awarded to Reed?
Martin took the shot. It's I know Reed's going to end up getting credit on the Yacht website, but that is Martin's goal. Here's the Soldi. Sends it towards the net. Draper behind to challenge. Around the wall and crunching his man in Mudrick. He sent the length of the ice. The Soldi back. Icing is waved off. The Soldi leaves it for Finnegan. Finnegan. Up the wall he comes. With some space. Takes it to the offside. Drops off for Reed. Reed winds up. That one goes wide. Soldi with a man on him gets back. A lone defender plays it to the wall to Passanante. Out wide to Finnegan. Colonial's bringing forward the offense to the zone. Finnegan's shot hits up high on the netminder. Now springs the Dragons free the other way, 2-on-1. Out wide, a chance. Shot comes in. Shoulder save. Patrick on Genovese. Purdue or Passanante bodies his man off, leaves it forward to Byrne. He'll skate this one down. Byrne holding still onto it somehow. Leaves it now off for Martin. Chipped around. Dobransky challenging. Takes his man to the wall, but offsides are the Dragons. Jacobs a little too ahead of his teammates there.
Colonials definitely looking to add the pressure to try and get this as close as possible. Maybe take the lead if they can. They've done worse, crazier before.
It's not impossible. We've seen a team, I know it was the GOAT 4v4 league of all things, but scored 6 goals in, what, a minute and a half span. As challenging as Patrick comes out and makes the save and takes the captain of the Dragons down to the ice. A risky play.
Definitely. 2 people behind him for the Dragons, just waiting there, waiting for the puck to squeak through behind him. Able to squeeze that one down, and that will not get through him.
In fact, I was saying, what was it, 6 goals in a minute and 30 in the GOAT league?
I think so.
Oh, insanity. Shout out to Christian Humphreys, the Colorado Avalanche prospect. Maybe see his name move at the trade deadline. I know the Avs looking to buy after trading Mikko Rantanen last night. Don't know what's going to happen there. Maybe see Evgeny Malkin there. I'm just saying. Just saying. Here's Reno Patrick going to play it off behind the net for Rob Byrne, New York native, sadly New York Rangers fan. There's fun banter between him and his teammates always between the Penguins and Rangers rivalry. Both not looking so hot right now. Here's Birkin's shot, stopped there by Reed. Plays this up now for Byrne. Gets pummeled along the wall, but takes his man to the ice. Hurst. Out wide for Byrne, couldn't settle. Back behind the net, Byrne, challenge. To the half circle, Jacobs. Blocked by Dobransky. Colbert trying to play it forward. Ripped away by Harris. Drop pass shot. Saved by Patrick. 3-on-4-on-2 now the other way. Strutt. Back. Dobransky looking, firing. He brings one off the end boards. And now the other way come the Dragons. Pass 2 ahead. Finnegan will settle over to Dobransky. Quickly plays it in. And RMU now on the defensive chase. 2-on-1. Sambuco fires a shot, rolls wide the net. Colbert looks to play it out. He does. But goes right back to the stick of Urbani to play it down low. A bunch of these Drexel players probably Flyers fans, so we see all 3 hated teams pretty much one way or the other between Flyers, Rangers, and Penguins Nations. Also not looking too great. We're all in the same boat, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
Here's Itsu trying to dangle around. Finnegan lays the check. Soldi to pick it up. Up for Moran. In front, a loose puck. Trying to one-hand that on net. And eventually does not go the Dragons' way. To the point, Urbani winds up. Turned over. Here comes Moran. Looking to walk his way in. Round 1, Moran firing. Looks to go upstairs. Couldn't do so. Passanante winds up. And wide. You know, some of these shots just go on net. I don't know. Maybe one squeaks through. This is 4-2. There's been some really good chances for RMU.
I think another thing that the Colonials, if they put a guy, park him at the far post, then a lot of these shots that are missing the net are coming right out to the other side and could be tapped in by a guy behind, on the other side of the net.
Here's the top line back out. Hurst tries to dangle through. Reed laying the body. This is one line that they'd love to see get on the score sheet again. Byrne walks it down, gets hit in the process, but gets it to Hurst. Jousting behind that pop free to Reed. One time the shot and denied by Nocerino. Byrne getting back. 2-on-2. Walking in. Shot blocked by Byrne. Laying it on the line. And now break for Martin the other way. Martin dangles through, gets dragged to the ice. Made a first great initial move. And the Dragons clean it up after. Finnegan plays it behind for Dobransky. Quickly up for Colbert. Through the middle, wanted strut. Taken away by Genovese. And quickly played forward. Down the right wall, a shot. Glove save by Mr. Reno Patrick, and he'll hold on. 6:11 to go here in period 2.
Good offensive pressure by the Colonials, trying to get back into this game. Just can't find the right one to put another one behind Nocerino. He's looked really strong. They've had a couple chances, as I said. If you just sit someone in that far post, I think you get at least 2 goals just from pucks popping out the other side.
Still 6:05. Don't call it over just quite yet. Here's Passanante. Goes out wide to a Sodi. Wants the stretch pass. Elects to go to a Pood. And quickly sent back in. Patrick leaves it for Finnegan. He gets harassed behind the net. Trying to come out is Genovese all over him. Genovese gets it out. Backhand denied by Passanante, getting a stick across. And now Isolde will chip it off the wall. Through the middle. Stepping up Passanante, lays the check. And now backpedaling of the Dragons, 5.5 to go. Pood challenging. Dragons will dump and go get some changes. Dobransky skates up ice, loses an edge, and can't keep it on sides. Jacobs the other way, around Passanante, looks to put it on, rebound, and Patrick gets across to make the save. Almost identical to what we saw last night with the net coming off. If that shot goes through, that's going to count. But luckily, Reno Patrick diving out to make that desperation save.
Passanante does not feel good after going into the post. He's going to be able to change, which you're normally not allowed to, but because of the discomfort, able to get off the ice. So a positive and a negative in that sense.
Already really shorthanded as he will labor on the bench, hopefully can return. A shot floats up high by Draper, and we'll get Whistler at 4:53. You know, some of these Colonial clubs here are going to play feet up today, trying to muscle through the pain. And a lot of credit to them, because otherwise, if they're not able to go, there might only be 3 skaters on this ice right now.
Yeah. But you also, you know you got some people that maybe are sitting out this game who might be okay, but because this is a game that, doesn't count for playoffs, you're like, I'm going to rest an extra week so I'm not extra hurt for that game, for those 2 important games next week.
The big battles between John Carroll and IUP next week as Dobransky will meet up with Sambuco. Reed will come to his defense. Sambuco was in a lot of scuffles last night. Ended up seeing him take a 10-minute trip to the box, adding some frustration. They are separated, and this will be outside the RMU zone. Draper against Eisler on the face-off. Won by the Colonials. Byrne quickly over to Dobransky. Now Reed looking for Draper. That's taken away. Here comes Eisler. Try to go for the drop pass. Has Mantuzo. Point. Doyle. Shot. Hits off of Dobransky and wide of the net. Byrne plays along the wall. Once Hurst. Tried to go to the center. Picked away. Dragons retreat back. Now try to go for the stretch pass. Through everybody. Icing is waved off. Behind that, Tuzo takes it to the wall. For Baccarin, down low. Baccarin gets it once more. Holding behind the net. In front, Tuzo shot. Saved by Patrick with the shoulder. Rebound pops out. Martin corrals it and can push it to center. Dumped in by the Dragons. Both teams going for changes. Dobransky gets it up to Travis Strutt. Out wide to Rob Byrne. And chips to center and quickly thrown back in. Patrick leaves it off for Dobransky. Dobransky to the outside. Looks to walk it along the wall. We've seen a lot more offense from the defense today. Guys like Dobransky and Byrne, who usually don't do a lot of offense, as Patrick hits across, came out of the net and makes the save. What a stop by Reno Patrick. Not the greatest decision, but makes up for it. I was saying the defense a lot more active offensively, though, Andrew. It's good to see. You kind of need that more. And Finnegan will get some meeting of the guard here as he'll meet up with Lazine as he shoots a puck off of a Dragon that took a tumble behind Reno Patrick. I don't think I've seen that one before.
I don't either, but I mean, it looked intentional, that's for sure, but could have just been a spin around. I'm pissed off that the whistle was blown, but I think definitely aiming for a specific part of the ice.
Yes. So he'll get a talking to.
He'll take a seat.
Yep. I figured he would. Identical almost to what happened last night, only Sambuco shot at the wall, not towards a player. But that should be the end of Finnegan's night, I believe.
If it's anything more than a 2-minute, then it will be it. But because there is 5 on the ice now, so that'll be his night done.
Why not go to the locker at that point?
I don't know.
So now they'll get the right personnel on.
It's going to come out because it was not a.
Yeah.
So it will not be a power play. So puck will just be dropped wherever it should have been dropped.
Yes.
So now you're down to 3D for the rest of this game, as it does look like Apud has dropped back in the absence.
You have to. There's not really much of a choice. So 2:40 to go. At least it stays 5-on-5. Gives RMU a fighting chance. They do get one on the board here. Driving in, backhand, will score. Just a weird-looking shot, but Ben and Genovese are second of the weekend for Bear Genovese. 5-1 Drexel. I'm not really sure that went in.
It did.
I know it did went in. I'm just saying, like, the way that he shot it,
Yeah.
It was off, like, Patrick's shoulder and then rolled its way off his back and in, I believe.
I feel like it made the save off the shoulder, and I think it hit Genevieve in the chest or something, and then went over the shoulder.
Weird little play. But Genovese, 6th of the season, 2nd of the weekend. And Drexel seemingly putting the icing on the cake here. Unless the miracle run, 2:15. All right, Mr. Mathman, how many goals per second?
Oh. It's going to be about a goal every 20 if you want to win the game.
Yeah.
That's 6 in regulation.
It works.
Well, you don't need 6, so I don't know why I calculated for 6, but we'll take it.
Sure, let's go for 6, yeah. Draper with a shove along the wall. He'll get into some mischief there as he gets in with Steele. Isolde quickly up for Apud, out wide to Hurst. There's Isolde behind the player roughing it up. As all over a Drexel player. As seemingly more everyone's just trying to take some runs with only 90 seconds left on the clock.
Draper was not putting any weight on his leg as he skated to the bench and collapsed behind the bench as he got there.
Injuries, man. Brutal. As he is back to upright position, thankfully. But San Purdue's already gone down. Patton gone down this weekend. Walker's gone down this weekend. It's just been a one after the other. Tic-tac-toe play, and Burns somehow keeps it out. A minute to go. As Army trying to escape with no more injuries. Seemingly just can't avoid it. Harris sends this one out wide to Sambuco. To Harris, shot, scores. Harris, 2nd of the weekend, 2nd of the game, 6-1, and Patrick goes for the stick break, cannot complete, but deservedly frustrated, kind of just getting left out, hang out to dry there.
From what I did see, I think the stick's already broken. I think he snapped it and pushed on the blade, or maybe it just was really bent. But
yeah, there it goes. Yeah, you're right. It was definitely broken. And now Mr. Patrick Colburn will help out a fellow Patrick to get a new stick in there. They wanted to go for a goalie change. Patrick said no. I don't know the point with 44.3, but
yeah, I don't know.
As Colburn was fully ready to jump over and be like, all right, let's go.
Maybe we could have seen the return of injured Caleb McCabe.
Maybe.
For 44 seconds.
He doesn't seem like he's very ready to go into the game, just from our looks of things. 30 seconds. Shot comes in. Patrick with the save. He'll hold on. Gets the whistle. I think he wanted to play that with the referee.
Stay in the game.
Yeah. 26.1. Another offensive zone draw here. A one face-off. Turning shot. Gets a piece of it, does Reno Patrick. To the point, Arbani. Out wide. Blocked away by a Pood, who is playing defense on this shift. The Swiss Army knife at it again. Moran draped all over his man, just thrown in by the Dragons. The Soldi will hold. And that'll do it. A split on the weekend for both sides, as RMU falls in this one 6-1, but did get the win last night 4-3 in OT. It's just so hard when the benches start to dwindle and dwindle and dwindle, and the injuries start to pile, how much you can hold on. You got to give the Colonials credit. They get the win last night. They battled back. And this one, they held their own for the first bit of the game, and then the wheels just come off at the end as more guys start to fall.
Yeah, as more injuries, things are not going to go right, and it just could not end up in the way the Colonials wanted.
At least come out with a sweep. And that's, I think, ideal what you wanted before the weekend started. Drexel, a very good hockey team. We said that time and time again throughout the last 2 days. And a former no, they are not the ESCHL champions from last year. Just outside the top 25. Get the win that they needed to reclaim their stake as one of the top teams in the country. And a tough battle. The last games, it was physical, it was fun. In the end, both teams coming out with a win, and the Colonials have to rest up when they face John Carroll and IUP next week. A lone goal coming from Braden Martin or Keith Reed, depending who you ask. But Drexel coming out on top with a 6-1 victory. As for us, we have an hour break, and then we're back live again as Andrew and Caleb McCabe, as mentioned, will call the D2 Women Colonials facing on the Niagara Purple Eagles. And then I will be back in the saddle as the D3 Colonials take on the IUP Crimson Hawks here at the Cleveland Rink at 8:30. So you have a fun little rest of the day coming up for us.
Yeah, we do.
But Colonials 0-1 in the slate to start the day. 2 more chances to fix it. And we'll have them live here on the RMU Campus Rec YouTube channel. Thank you to our whole crew here with us. Andrew Keel, I'm Cade McCrory. We'll see you in about an hour. If you're interested, RMU D2 versus Niagara. We'll see you guys then.